Hello you guys, I'm sitting here with a wonderful cup of tea or a glass of tea. I love to drink my tea in a glass. My name is Emma. If you haven't come across this channel before, I do Vedic astrology updates and some other stuff, but mostly on this channel I do the astrology forecasts. And I didn't have a plan to do this for this transit that we're on our way to, the new moon solar eclipse, lunar eclipse. But my friend Julia inspired me to do that. So I will talk about this thing. And I was thinking I would start with speaking about what it means, the general energy of an eclipse, the energy of what it means in the traditional Vedic energy, the Vedic astrology, which is what I work with. So if you are not familiar and if you're working with or more used to the Western astrology, you need to get your Vedic chart. And I'll put a link in my description so you can get a chart done for free. And you can look at where your ascendant is and where your moon is, because that's where we walk. That's where we look at the chart. And if you don't have that, you cannot like translate the Western. You need to have a Vedic chart. So the sidereal astrology is what I work with. Sorry for being all blah, 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 like that, because I started to do a video, and then I realized I didn't have this on. Which I bought recently so that the sound would be better, and then I had to start over. So I've already kind of done this whole speech for a while. So anyway, if I seem a bit flustered, it's because my mind has gone back and like, are we doing this again? Yes, we are. So that the sound would be good. But yeah, so look up your Vedic chart if you haven't got it already. Some of you have got it from me. But that's what we're using. All right, so after that, I will speak about what the nakshatra that this is happening in means, Swati, because it's a new moon happening. And the 25th tomorrow is the solar eclipse, partial solar eclipse. And then the 8th of November, we have a lunar eclipse. So that's like a window of eclipse energy. And after that, I'm going to go through all the 12 signs, what it means for you, meaning in the sidereal horoscope, astrology. Sorry. Okay. So, in the Vedic astrology, traditionally, and I mean traditionally now, I'm going by how it's been viewed and how it is viewed in many parts of the world, is that an eclipse is not a very fortunate event. It's not very auspicious. It means that the sun, the light, is blocked out by demonic energies. Rahu and Ketu are sort of karmic ties. The Ketu, meaning the past life, the past in general, comes with our, it's our baggage, our backpack of karma. So that is the energy of what we're here to sort out, but also what we might be tied down with. And what we're meant to leave behind. Rahu, the north node, is what we're here to experience, what we're here to understand, the new energy pulling us to the earth. So they both kind of tie us to this, it's our ego energy. It's our ego aspect. I say demonic because it's not demonic in the religious sense. It's more like how you would see if our absolute goal is to be fully integrated with our higher self, our source, our divineness, then what we are coming into this earth with is to understand through understanding our ego, our humanness, our, and that is considered to be the opposite then of the divine in a way, traditionally. But also not really. I'm not explaining this very well at the moment. I did before, which is annoying. Okay, so in short, They symbolize what is kind of our path, but also our challenge. So it's a challenging energy. Rahu works with the mind. So eclipse is the mind as well. It creates psychological challenge. It creates psychological twists and turns and maybe thoughts, self-doubt, criticism, all of these things. K2 is more the body, inflammation, issues with the physical in a way. And in this way, you can also see how they then affect the light. So if we move away from what they mean and not confuse me anymore, what happens in a solar eclipse is that they both kind of block out the light. So if auspiciousness and good luck and fortune comes from the light coming into our lives and the light coming into our path and illuminating us and illuminating our being and different areas of the chart, then when they are blocked out, other energies may come through, and also you're kind of lost. It's a feeling of like, where am I going now? And your influence might not come from the highest frequency because it's coming from this illusion-based ego that is kind of making you be here. Now, it is also why you are here. So it's not all a bad thing. But I know in parts of India, they do not recommend that you go outside when it's in a solar eclipse, because then you would be under the influence of Rahu rather than the sun. And that's not a very lucky thing to be. So, there's that. So, but if you also look at it from the way I choose to look at it is to, it's being blocked out, sure. The sun is being kind of overshadowed by this aspect, but then it's also, a call to, it's like a rebirthing thing for me, where you get a chance to kind of reboot, because the sun will emerge again. So there's always a changing and shifting going on at this time. It's always very transformative. It's always very new beginning. That's how it kind of manifests in your life, in your world, depending on the house, which I'm going to go into. But it's a new beginning. It's kind of like and it's always then connected to your karma, connected to what you're here to learn, connected to, in this instance it's K2 because it's in the house of K2 in Libra. The other one we had in May was with Rahu. So this is happening in Libra. The other one was in Aries then. So yes, let's see where we go now. I was gonna say something else. This morning I had a very beautiful meditation, and I felt very called to talk, and I did. I sat with myself in a prayer where I asked that whatever is meant to come through will be coming through. Because when I do these videos, I always want to kind of give an example of the traditional interpretation of things, but I also want it to be, a sort of channeling and interpretation from my energy, from my soul aspect, where it's not only the very traditional interpretation, because that's kind of narrow for me. So I try to kind of feel into what the highest, most message would be, for you people watching this. I feel like I had something more I wanted to say about Rahu and Ketu and the eclipse thing. But I'm gonna go back to it if it comes back. We are also the new moon, and if we go into that, Swati is the nakshatra that the new moon happens in Libra. So it's a nakshatra ruled by Rahu, funnily enough. So it's a lot of Rahu energy. For me, it's like double Rahu, meaning that there's a lot of airiness, there's a lot of mind, there's a lot of thoughts, sensitivity comes up, and also a need for grounding. So oils could be good. This is, depending on your house, which I'm gonna also, I will say it now, I'm gonna put links for, timestamps, so you can jump ahead to your sign if you want. And and so you don't have to kind of look for it, but I'm gonna put timestamps in. I want to say that now. Swati is ruled by the deity Vayu, which is air. So there's a lot of airiness, meaning that there's, it's the breath of the gods. So breath, in a way, is a very positive thing. I just remembered what I wanted to say. The eclipse, where that happens, gives you the kind of point and focus of energy for the next 6 months, for the next eclipse time. So Libra, whatever house that is for you, is going to be the place where your focus and it's been being highlighted for the next eclipse, the transformative season, which is it's a rebirth thing. That's what I wanted to say. Yeah, so Swati, it's a lot of like new birth. It's, a sprout. One of the symbols for it is a sprout, a very, very delicate first green out of a seed, the sprout. That's one of the symbols of this. So there's like a new beginning, but it's very, very sensitive. So people with Swati nakshatra as a moon placement could be very sensitive. They could be, sensitive to air, sensitive to a lot of thoughts. So there could be, if you look at the new moon, there could be either new thoughts, a new beginning being sprouted, and coupled with the eclipse, it's a lot of energy that is supporting this new beginning, but it needs protection. It needs to be quite shielded, and you need, I feel like I also want to be, protective with it. As a general message, I feel like breath work could be a supportive thing through this solar eclipse, and I feel like I want to have an internal, inward focused ceremony. If you want to do a ceremony, I would recommend, based on my feeling, you always go with your feeling, obviously, to do a ceremony where you're focusing on your internal self, meaning either go into a meditative state, using your breath. There's different breath practices, or just breathe, grounding exercises, rooting yourself down, because there's a very scattery energy. It's like very easy to get lost, and because it has Rahu influence, it's ruled by the planet Rahu as well. There's illusion in a way, risk for interpreting things not quite correctly or be misled. So I would be a bit careful with what I soak up during this time, because when air is the element, being ruled, being the ruling element, there's this openness where you could soak up things, other ideas that might not be your ideas, might not suit you. So sort of discernment comes to me at this time. Discernment when it comes to guidance, discernment when it comes to your own thoughts, discernment when it comes to what steps I want to take moving forward, but also new birth, new, delicate, beautiful birth. So there is a very cool energy. I felt like the other eclipse that we had a half a year ago was very powerful and very electric and very fiery, because it was in Aries and it was in another nakshatra that's quite strong. It was Bharani, I think. It's very death, rebirth, powerful. And this is a little bit more delicate. It's a little bit more, we're in a season where we, huddle in towards our internal self, and it's like darkness is coming in, and it's this hibernation thing going on in some parts of the world anyway, in the northern parts, in the northern parts where I am. So delicacy with yourself and breath work and grounding for this new moon and the solar eclipse. So I think I'm going to go into the signs now. That's what I'm feeling guided to do. And so far, I hope that you're finding this interesting. You're very welcome to comment. You're very welcome to share what your experiences are and how you feel during this time, and if it feels resonating with you. At the moment, I'm not doing readings. I'm taking this rest of the year for myself to integrate with new energies coming in, but I will be doing readings as of next year, I think. But if you feel like you want your chart done, I can recommend you to other people. So anyway, okay, where to begin? Now, in the Vedic, you can look at from the moon or the rising sign. So I'm going to focus on the rising sign, but it's also going to be, if you have the moon in the sign I talk about, then it will be more of an emotional, how the emotional world will be affected. So you can take the message that I say and put it into your emotional world. For instance, if we start with Aries, then this eclipse will happen in your 7th house. And if it is in your rising sign, it will be in your 7th house. If Aries is your moon sign, then it will be your 7th house from the moon. So not in your traditional 7th house, but then it will be, you know, the emotional interpretation, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, comment. I'll try to explain further. But if you have an Aries ascendant or moon sign, then it will be in your 7th house, meaning that this eclipse and the new moon will have a relationship focus. Now, the 7th house is marriage, business partners, soulmate house. So it could be friendships, it could be all relationships, but everything that is relationship-wise that has a big impact, that has big meaning in your life. It could be that you will have a shifting focus or a different perspective when it comes to how you relate to other people. Be open to changing. It can be also that you, because K2 is involved, people from a past life or from the past, like people you've already dealt with, a romance partner coming back into your life. If you are in a relationship, it could be that there's some sort of a change going on. There might be a need for a change. There might be a need for a shift in the relationship. So be open to that. Like, again, the sprouting energy. So I feel like there might be a rumbling energy with the relationship. So I am an Aries ascendant. Sorry, I'm trying to just adjust my seat so I'm a bit comfortable. And I can feel that there's a shifting in my own energy and how I feel about myself in regards to other people. Like there's this very, you know, where do my priorities lie and how do I relate? And it's very subtle. And that's also an aspect of Swati, it's a subtle energy in a way. So yeah, if you are a Taurus ascendant or moon, then this will be in your 6th house. This is gonna be a challenge. I should have written it down, but I haven't. So 6th house, yes. So healing, health comes up. Libra is also a relationship, balance, harmony. So there will be a call to look upon your health in a way. It might be that you need to look at your stress levels and how you deal with your health. Could be that you feel more drawn to healing. Could be also in your own life that you connect to your own healing abilities or reconnect to past life abilities that you've already had and already worked with. That's one way to look at it. But yes, your health will be, it could also be if you have a challenge somewhere in regards to other people, because in the 6th house you can have enemies, and this is interpreted then as disease. But because it is a new moon, I feel like there's a shift. It could be, coming to terms with it. But the coming 6 months will be focused on your health and your balance. So that's, yeah. If you are a Gemini ascendant, this will be your 5th house, creativity and children. So your own creativity, definitely. Your own expression, your own individuality as well. Because, I mean, the 5th house is about you and your own leadership and your own voice. But it's also about what you create and what you bring into the world. So I feel like there is a shift, and I feel like I want to go within and search for what I really feel called to express. If you have children, it could be that things will your children will be in the forefront, and that there will be changes going on with your children. They might be going through a change, or they might have challenges that call for you to help them or be there for them, or that they are going through a phase of change. If you're a Cancer ascendant, this is happening in your 4th house. So home and mother, and your emotions. So there can be, your home life could be changing, either improving through moving or shifting, or if you thought about moving, there might be some kind of element of changing your home, or moving towards, either you do a home improvement, you rearrange things, or you actually move, or you get an idea that you meant to move. There's like something shifting in your home. Be open to the idea of shifting in your home. There's also a lot of rebirth when it comes to emotional space. So I feel like old emotions might come back into play, come back into your life, where you might need to either flush them out, feel them, or, you know, call back yourself. So it could be, you know, I feel I'm being shown this energy of like, if you're a Cancer watching this, the energy of like, oh, well, I thought I was done with this. Didn't I just process this the other day or month or year? Why is this coming back up again? So there's a circular motion of needing to go back and feeling things again, or you know, resurfacing of the old emotion. Could also be if your mother, you and your mother having something, you know, to be dealt with, conversations with your mother, or your mother could be needing some assistance in some way, or needing help, or there might be a change in her life that requires you to either be there, or if there's a boundary that needs to be put up because there's a sensitivity energy. If you are a Leo ascendant, this is your 3rd house, your place in the community, your voice, your expression. So 3rd house deals with a lot of expression and writing and, you know, photography, art in a way, but also who you are in your community. Your close family could be aunts and uncles and that kind of thing as well, extended family. So I feel like I'm being really, I have a friend and I'm thinking about her when I say this. And if you're watching, this is to you, but it's also to all Leos, of course. There is a change in your expression. The coming 6 months, there will be quite a strong calling. I'm feeling pushed, gently guided, but also kind of, you know, yeah, you need to get out there and to voice what you're here to say. I feel like there's also old wisdom coming through, old things that needs to be expressed. I feel like there's a lot of lives you're integrating your truth from. But, you know, expressing your truth is definitely a strong thing coming in here. I feel like also the way you sort of place yourself in your community, I feel like this has to do with work in a way. But what I'm here is what my purpose is to express. Could also be using writing, using that as an expression to kind of sort your feelings, sort your thoughts and expressions. So writing comes to all the Leos out there that you might need to go through that and to work with that as an element to sort yourself. But I feel like also, you know, websites are coming up, blogs are coming up, expression in different ways. So that's a strong thing. Siblings as well. So there could be a shift with siblings, could be a shift with how I relate to my siblings. Shift with them that kind of, you know, tells you that they're going through something. So that's also coming up with siblings. If you are a Virgo ascendant, this is in your 2nd house. So it deals with food, money, and your values. So, and your childhood as well. So there could be quite a strong element of reawakening to your childhood. Now, this obviously also kind of deals with what other planets you have. So if you have malefics, like not bad, but challenging aspects in your chart in these houses, sorry, yeah, there's a lot of cleansing. I feel like if you have the 2nd house, there will be a lot of clearing, cleansing, needing to come out. So childhood memories, but also your values. I feel like there's something with core values. I'm being kind of put through the ringer in a way. So this could be quite harsh in, you know, certain ways, but I feel also like this really, really new energy here where I feel you could be in for quite a deep change. But also where it's like a lot of change has already happened and now it's being kind of put into the world. So as you emerge from this eclipse in this week, you're gonna be much more open to new ways of looking at things. So it's like the old is being washed away, your old ideas and old values that are kind of weighing you down, I would say. And it's an opportunity to really leave the past behind. If your ascendant is Libra, this is in your first house. So this is all about you. This is all about your identity, your self-image, your physical body, your earth place, how your soul expresses itself as a being in this body. So the way you view yourself is the main focus, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about what you're here to do. It could be a lot of questioning of who am I, what am I here to do, old ideas of what I thought I was, who I thought I was. It's like there might be some challenging times where you feel a bit lost and where you feel like you don't know who you are. And there's like this, you will have had a period of kind of death rebirth experiences because you've had the Sun and Venus and Mercury just passed through your 12th house. So it's like this is kind of strengthening this death and rebirth thing when it comes to who you are and your individual expression. So if you feel lost, take some time, breathe into it, and don't be too, don't fret. Don't be scared. It's a very massive shift and it's really positive, and it will, you know, set the stage for you to reinvent yourself in a really true way. But because it is this overshadowing energy, it might feel like you lose track of who you are. And it's because they have this blocking, as I described in the beginning, and there's nothing to worry about. It will pass and you will find your deeper connection to yourself again. If you have a Scorpio ascendant, this is in your 12th house. So this is going to take place in the house of your consciousness, your connection to the divine, but also death and grief and loss. So it's like parts of it is that you might not feel super, it might be a less aware thing because it's in a house where it's kind of hidden away. So you might feel it on a very deep level, but it's not so clear in your awareness what it does. It's like it's working on quite an outside in your outer areas of your aura, and then it kind of trickles in, and then you will feel the effects of it more clearly as you go through. But I feel like coming to face with grief, you might be coming into a space where you feel loss. You could experience loss, but it can also be like I'm actually reconnecting to the loss I've already felt to deal with it. It's like also past lives is coming up a lot because that's in this house. I feel like there's a lot of healing, but it could be a turbulent time emotional wise. And you could also feel like there's a difficulty reaching out because it's like when the 12th house is very strongly aspected, you're kind of being withdrawn. It's like I don't really want to be out and about. I want to be within myself, and it's a call to withdraw as well. It's a call to go within and to sit with yourself through this, because that's where you'll find the most answers. If your ascendant is Sagittarius, this is in your 11th house, which means that there will be a focus on friendships, dreams, groups, new beginnings when it comes to that. So you could have new experiences, new energies connected to friendships, feeling inspired to go out and meet new people. You might actually meet new people that will help you further along your way. I see like groups, classes, workshops, lectures. Go out and be in the world, because you'll meet people. You'll meet inspiring people. Not like you'll have to meet new friends, but even if it's just like an encounter in a store, or if it's just like somebody you, a client or a friend's friend, there will be a connection energy going on where you will be put in touch with people who can influence you in a way to change your life. Also, friendships might be in a changing process where you there's a change going on in friendships, either that you're letting go of certain people, or that you're having talks with certain friendships needing to evolve, needing to change, so you will feel more secure and more stable, and that it will fit your personality and your way of life better. That it's like I'm voicing myself is what I'm seeing. It's also like a change of dreams, because this is the house of dreams and house of experiencing dreams and how you search for your dreams in life. So there's a new energy here as well. So either a reinvention of your dreams, a shifting of your dreams, or pursuing them in a different way. If your ascendant is Capricorn, this is in your work house. Capricorn, the worker. So shifts in your career. Strong shifts in your career. Things you've worked for a long time, will come to place, will come into the world. A lot of guidance towards dedication, I feel, also shifting in how you view yourself as a in your work, your role. I also feel a lot of new ideas, new projects, new beginnings. So the full next half a year, you will have a lot of energy focusing on your work. And I feel like I want to really, get down and, be very structured. Saturn is also turning direct in your first house. So there's a lot of like karma, but also structure and dedication and order. So I'm very ordered in this process of like this new beginning. So it's a lot of new beginning energy for you when it comes to your career. And it's like a new level. I'm turning up the volume. So it's a lot of energy towards your career. It's a good thing. If your ascendant is Aquarius, this is in your 9th house. So it could be a change when it comes to your father. Relationship with your father could change, or you could have a deepening with your connection to your spiritual guides. New guides could come in. You could feel called to study, taking a class, or following a higher guidance, like meditating more orderly. It could also be like you and your father has a deepening of your conversations, chats, talks. I feel like talking is strong. Going back to resolving differences or letting things go. So there's something with the father coming in. It could also be healing your father wounds. Or it might be issues with the father that needs to be addressed. Either he needs help, or that you need to face whatever wounds you have connected to him and deal with them. But a spiritual time for sure, spiritual time. If your ascendant is Pisces, then this is the 8th house for you. So the 8th house, did I just do the whole thing wrong? No? Now I have to just think. Oh my God. I just thought I did the whole thing wrong. No, it is the 8th house. Oh, good Lord. Sorry, Pisces. Pisces, okay. This is the 8th house for you. So the 8th house is all about your depths. It could be either, and also it has to do with other people's money, inheritance, banks. So it could be that things will shift when it comes to money. There might be inheritance, there might be areas where money is being resolved or coming into you in a way, or the change when it comes to this. Because it is an inauspicious thing, it might be a challenge when it comes to that area, or if you're in a dealing with government bodies, you could have a challenging time, so call on support for that. Could also be that things from your depths, your like traumas, taboos, things you've hidden away within yourself is going to be lifted up again, because the 8th house is a house for death and rebirth, where we hide away whatever things we haven't dealt with emotionally. So it's the psychological plane of our past experiences. So it might be a time where you're faced with your past in a way to deal with whatever you've gone through. So it's a changing emotionally to face what you've your past. Could be childhood, could be past lives, but it feels like it's this life and your experience in this and how that has affected you, and really looking at that and working through it. So it might be coming up to the surface for you to heal. Okay, and that's all of the signs. There we are, 35 minutes. Wow, okay. Big video. So I'm gonna end here and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I will, as I said, put a link to the chart calculator in the description, and also timestamps and stuff. And if you like this video, click like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again. Have a beautiful eclipse and new moon time, and take care of yourselves, and yeah, bye bye.